Right now. All right, hello everybody. Oh, that's the wrong scene. Professional, we're here. So we got Runestone, who is our first time guest today, and we have Oz, a
Hello.
returning favorite. So hopefully, if Rune enjoys his time here, he might come back. But until then,
Maybe.
welcome to Cunt.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. I
Hey, no
appreciate it.
problem.
This is my officially first podcast as a content creator. I
There
have
you
no
go.
fucking clue what to expect. Let's do it.
Oh, well,
Let's
I
get
mean,
naked. Let's get weird.
I'm not doing that part yet. I'm not famous enough to get naked and get away with it. Speaking of getting naked, though, Oz learned something interesting, and so did my chat a little bit earlier about me. So I don't remember who brought it up, but somebody brought up
Brought it
something.
up?
I think it was Yak. Did Yak bring it
Oh,
up?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Yak brought it up. It was a Reddit called Cos Penis, where people cosplay their
Okay.
penis. So it was kind of funny because
Interesting.
this is something I've done, but I didn't realize it was a thing. So back when I was like, I must have been early 20s, 19, 18 to early 20s, and I had a little tuxedo that I put on my dick, and I put a little top hat on it and some googly eyes with a monocle. And I just took a photo of it and sent it to a group of my close friends who do this kind of shit. And I didn't just send it to a girl on Tinder and be like, you want to take my fancy little sophisticock out for dinner? But yeah, no, I did that once, and I didn't realize it was already a thing. So I guess my first question for you is: have you ever dressed up your penis? And if you have, did you ever dangle it in front of somebody?
Yeah, no. So I've gone my almost my whole life without dangling my penis in front of anyone who didn't want it. So that's the first thing.
I will say these people did want it because they've done the same thing to me. Like, this is the type of group of friends that
Fair
just
enough.
randomly show each other their asses and their dick and balls and like
Right,
wiggle
no.
them in front of each other. So it's
They're
not like
just
it's a close
all-
friend like
okay.
that's not into that.
I think that there's some closet feelings going on there. I'm just gonna leave it with that.
Oh no, it's not closeted. I have sucked a dick before.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
awesome. See, that's perfect. As long as you want to, and
Well, no,
it's
I
all
found out I
there
was
and-
straight after sleeping with a dude.
Oh, nice.
I mean,
Nice.
I have a rule in my life. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but my number one rule is you always got to try something once.
Huh. So that is interesting. I agree with that 100%. Except heroin and like
Okay, fair
bungee
exception.
jumping. Have you seen those fucked up videos of those people who go bungee jumping and the cord fucking breaks? I'm not gonna put myself in that goddamn situation.
Okay.
I'm not risking my
I-
life for a thrill.
I get that because we're three very heavy dudes in this call right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
that fucking rope is gonna break.
That is a fear of mine. But if I was
Fucking
skinny,
rope is gonna break.
if I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
skinny, I would totally go
Yeah.
for it. In my current weight,
Sure,
no, fuck that.
maybe.
No, I've gone skydiving before.
skydiving. Oh, how was that as a big
Oh,
dude? I'm kind of
oh
curious
my-
you gotta
it hurt my
you gotta
balls.
jam into the plane. You gotta yeah, 'cause they put a diaper on you, right?
No, they don't. They don't put a diaper on you. They put a
I'd be
harness that
shitting my
That
pants.
behind you though?
yes, there was the guy behind me. I didn't have enough experience to go by myself. No solos for me, and I don't trust
Right,
myself to
right.
pull the right cord.
Yeah, you're not allowed to go solo, right?
Not
Yeah.
unless you have like a certain amount of experience.
Right,
I think
right.
you have to have like 100 times with. It was like 10.
You have to have 60,
it was 10 or 100
69
times. Yeah,
hours of
69.
training.
You have to
Yeah.
go dick to mouth once at least. It's the only way. It's how they prevent that air going in your mouth. They block it. But the skydiving was interesting. So I'm deathly afraid of heights. Well, at least I was until I jumped out of a plane. I'm deathly afraid of heights. But the one part that really pissed me off about skydiving was the harness just digging into your balls. Because it's not like a harness that wraps around your waist and then gets stuck on your thighs. If you're a big boy, those things will slide up your thighs and they will crush your nuts. It was like cock and ball torture, just
What if you
flying
have a
down
really
there.
small dick and balls?
Then you have a less like they might just pop like bubble wrap at that point.
Yeah, so like I have like basically it's like the end of a pencil.
yeah, kinda, yeah,
Yeah, that's how big
it
my
would still
dick
crush
is,
it.
and then my balls are like the size of M&Ms, so it will
Oh,
still crush me.
nice. You're a
Okay.
solid mouthful. But yeah,
Yes, in your
no,
mouth,
it,
not in your
it's
hand.
it's definitely worth trying. It's a lot safer than bungee jumping is. I didn't feel at all scared because, like, when you see those people jump out of the plane, there's 2 people usually on those harnesses. So I know they can handle some weight. I've never seen 2 people go on a bungee jump unless it was in a weird porno, which I have seen, and it was fucking weird.
And you definitely haven't seen 2 fat people go on a bungee jump together. So
Yeah.
so those are the 2 things.
Yeah. Heroin.
You don't do heroin and you don't do bungee jumping.
Yeah.
Everything else totally.
Yeah. Try it once.
Yeah.
I heard the rules. You have to try it twice because you might like it better the second time.
I see. The thing is if I'm unsure of something, I will retry it. Like, I was pretty solid when I found out I didn't like men. I was a pretty much like a one and done. Like, okay, I know I'm not going back for seconds. But like, I'm sorry.
I feel pretty confident with knowing what I like. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Would I go there? I don't know. Probably not. I'll be honest. I guess that's the other thing I wouldn't try.
I will say, even if you don't want to do it with a dude, you should at least get pegged once. It's an interesting experience.
I'll quote Blake here on this one. That is a treasure that is for my first wife if she really wants to explore that region.
You heard it here first, folks. There's going to be a clip of this in your chat. They're gonna clip this for later, and once you finally propose to your fiance, they'll dig it up, they'll send it to her, and there comes the strap-on from Adam and Eve.
There it is.
You could sponsor your stream that way. You could have a sponsored pegging.
Sponsored pegging. Sponsored by Raiders pegging.
Hey, Killa Dreams and Doc D Relish. I'm assuming you're both from RuneScape.
Yeah, they are. They're both from RuneScape.
RuneScape.
Oh, that was legit.
Oh shit!
That
But
was
yeah,
a legit RuneScape slip up.
Yeah, no. He wrote in the chat RuneScape wife booty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, wait a minute. Oh man. So yeah, no, it's just a general rule that I've had because like growing up, I was very much in a shell. I was that bullied, quiet kid that people make jokes about shooting up schools. That was kind of how I was growing up, so I never really broke out of my shell and tried things that scared me. So then when I like moved to this small town and I became supremely depressed and gained all the weight, I learned the mentality of just fuck it, because I did so many YouTube videos back between 2012 or but between 2010 and now that everybody just told me to like do so many awful things to myself that it just chipped away at my shell. And now it's like, you could tell me to kill myself and I'd just laugh and said, tried that, didn't work. Like, it's gotten to that point where there is no more shell anymore. So you might as well just fucking try it. So that's when I started like doing all this shit. And I've learned a lot about myself, learned a lot of things that I like now that I didn't like before. Like beer and wine, I fucking hated it. I hated it, but now I'll sip that shit all day. Yeah,
and
like
wine?
Beer and wine, because like I was the type of guy that needed to get drunk fast. Like as at my heaviest.
Well, why are you drinking, dude, or not drinking?
Well, you have to remember, I'm also German and a potential alcoholic, so
Listen,
I'm
a fucking Viking. I love wine.
Oh, yeah. Like, now I love it, but when I was 19, it was like, give me the shots. Why am I spending this much time drinking beer? Like, I was 520 pounds.
Okay, I'll give you that. Shots are definitely better than wine, but wine's better than beer. I would much prefer to drink wine than beer.
I agree.
It feels lighter, too. Beer fills me up and makes me feel like a fat ass.
I will say wine, depending on the wine, makes me heat up faster in the summer, especially red wine, because it's not a chilled drink. I do think it tastes better, but it's not nearly as refreshing as beer to me, like during the summer specifically. I like a good, nice, crisp IPA. Sit down in the heat, crank that shit. But
yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, but like back when you're like I was 6'4", 520 pounds. Beer wasn't gonna do shit to me. I had to drink
like 520.
I was a big boy.
What do you weigh now?
I am 295.
Oh, I'm fucking big. I'm a big boy still then.
Yeah.
I'm like 370.
My weight kind of looks like a lie detector test with how much it jitters up and down.
Oh,
so,
me too, yeah.
Yeah, like I got to 520 pounds. Then I dropped down to 220 over like 3 years. So I lost just a little bit under 300 pounds. And then when COVID hit, or as time went on, I got a little bit more depressed and I gained like 50 pounds back. Then COVID hit and I hit a 370 high again. Now I'm back down to 298. It's terrible. It's fucking terrible. I've got so many stretch marks. It looks like I got fucked by like Freddy Krueger. I was going to say Freddie Mercury. Different scars on that one.
You tried that already, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't like that.
Who do you think gave him the AIDS?
Jesus, dude.
Holy shit.
Hey, could you imagine if I had the cure inside me that entire time? Grats, man, I'm 350, 5'8". Hey, you know what, dude? You jack off enough, you'll become 325, no problem.
Okay, your heart rate doesn't go that high.
It does if
you
you
know,
hold your
and
breath.
you know it's over in like 5 seconds.
Well,
let's be honest. You're not getting a good exercise.
Okay, I'm gonna be really real with this instead of making a joke. You're right for the first time in a day, but the other 4 times, no.
Okay.
Especially during COVID, I think my average ended up being like 6 times a day just out of boredom.
COVID.
I'm the person I'm the reason there wasn't any toilet paper at the beginning of COVID. I was shooting all my kids into it.
Bro.
I mean, you came to a channel called Ruthless. What do you think's gonna happen?
It's true.
I come as advertised, and it's 6 times a day.
Sure coming. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I feel bad for your people that are gonna come and say hi to me.
It's fine. I'll just never do this again. It'll be great.
Yeah, it'll be the first podcast nobody will ever want to remember. The Lost Rune archives.
I'm just happy to be here. It's whatever. I'm just trying different things. I don't have any image to protect, so
Hey, me neither.
It is what it is.
I kind of feel bad for Oz because his image is definitely much better than both of ours.
Oh no.
I don't have an image. What are you talking about?
I mean, you've been on the podcast. What? This is your 4th time? Third time.
Third time.
Oh, third time. Oh, right. Last week was a solo for me. So yeah, you've been on the podcast 3 times now, and I feel like you're kind of like a little bit of my moral compass. Like as soon as I start to differ a little too far into the darkness, you're just like, hey, remember we're on Twitch, and I'm like, right, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I would prefer if we could not talk about our jack off sessions.
No, we could totally
That'd be
switch
great.
it. Go for it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It just ended up being how it went. I don't even know how we got to this topic.
I don't know either.
It's just how it happens. So yeah, you recently just broke 1,000 subs on YouTube, didn't you?
I did.
Did you get the partnership?
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
They invited me. Now I can start making pennies.
Hell yeah. I remember that dream.
I don't know. Let's see here. Maybe I've even made some pennies. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know how it works. Like how long until like the pennies start stacking up.
Oh, how many views a month do you average?
Probably not enough.
All right.
I don't know.
The easiest way to think of it is about $1 per 1,000 views.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
That's how it breaks down, because you have it used to be more, but when you factor in people with ads or ad block and people that are just skipping the ads, it brings the overall CPM down. So it should be about 3 to 4. But if you put that into place, then out of the 1,000 views, it brings it down to like $1.
So wait, the content creator gets punished when people skip the skippable ads?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, you get a
do.
fraction
Like
of the
20 goddamn minutes long.
I know, but well, those ones you don't get punished as much for because they're not paying as much for those because it's usually just other YouTube channels that are just trying to advertise themselves, so they're already cheap ads. So you'll just kind of end up with the residuals from everybody else who got ads that were just like actual ads instead of like some 9-year-old being like, "Mom, give me your credit card. I want to advertise my YouTube channel."
Yeah, I might have to enable it on certain videos because I don't see any. Do you have to go to the videos after you hit the partner and then monetize it, or I don't know?
So,
oh yeah, it's off.
Yeah,
I have to go to my videos and turn it on.
That's the one problem with their partner program.
Oh, I just looked at it. Okay. All right.
Yeah, for some reason, instead of making it automatic, they're just like, nah, we're already giving you the option to make some money on what is for many a dream job, so you could go back and go through your archive and turn it all on, which is going to suck for me if I ever get there, because I'm going to have like 8,000 videos and I'm going to be just scrolling through, clicking on.
Oh my god, yeah, I have to go through all my videos and do this now for sure. Yeah,
it's a brutal task.
And it says only videos longer than 8 minutes are eligible for ads during videos.
That's a myth.
That's what it's saying right now.
Yeah, what they mean by that is it's 8-minute videos are eligible for mid-rolls or ads that you can change. The ones that are less than 8 minutes and you enable monetization, they just put whatever they want on it.
Well, I'll be honest. I think the only reason that I was looking for YouTube partner was I wanted to do YouTube streams because Twitch is a fucking racket.
Yeah, fair.
And you can't get people to subscribe unless you are. And you can't get them to give you like biddies or like
the memberships. Right, yes.
Yeah, the memberships, right? So that's really the only thing that attracted me to that. Aside from the discoverability that YouTube provides. Twitch has no discoverability. They're getting better. But I think it's like, so Twitch is interesting beast. I think that they love money so much that they don't care about 80% of their streamers, because the 80% of their streamers will stay and continue to bring revenue in no matter how they're treated. That's the affiliate.
Yeah.
So 80% of the streamers, I'm guessing maybe even more, are affiliates. Just sheer numbers, right?
I think I looked this up before. I actually think it's actually higher than 80. If I remember correctly, out of everybody who has posted a stream this year, I think it was closer to 93, 95% of them
so
are
there's
affiliates.
2 million broadcasters. This is from Twitch.
Yeah.
2 million broadcaster, 27,000 are partners.
Oh, it's up to 27,000 now. So it's a little over 10%.
So, yeah. Is it? So 2 million. Yeah. And then divide, 2,700, 27,000.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. 1,000, yeah. Should be about like 12 or 13%.
Divided by 2 million. Yeah, 13%.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
No, sorry. 1%.
1.3%.
Yeah, that's 1.35%.
I was a decimal point off. My bad, guys.
Yeah. 1 point. So 99%
Jesus.
of the streamers on Twitch, 99% of them are either affiliates or not partners.
Holy fuck.
And you know what's interesting about that? Because I was thinking of the other day, what reason does Twitch have to keep people in the affiliate program? Each one of those fucking streamers, the 2 million broadcasters, will get at least one of their friends to subscribe. Of their friends to subscribe.
Especially with
They'll
Prime.
let you in. Right? And with the Prime, too.
Especially with Prime. Yep.
They will get one of their friends to subscribe. Right? And that's all they need. So, of course, they're going to pile people into the affiliate program as fast as they fucking can. The partner program, I have a whole other opinion about, but that's neither here nor there. But it's interesting to think how fucking bad we're being scammed as affiliates. And so they're making millions on us a month. And they won't even give us the same access that partners have. And so I get that the bandwidth requirements for like affiliates must be for just anyone streaming. Like wasn't there that streamer service that before Twitch, before
Blip TV?
Justin TV,
yeah.
Right? Before that, there was other streaming services and you would have to pay.
Yeah, Blip. Blip was one of them.
Yeah?
Yeah, Blip was just before Justin TV.
So how expensive is it to stream?
So for Amazon, which owns Twitch, it's not that much because they already had the servers for it.
Right. They don't have to get a third party to buy the servers. Okay, yeah.
Exactly. So beforehand, it was way more money. Like we're talking millions and millions of dollars. But because Amazon already has server farms everywhere, because they're already making MMO games, they already have this infrastructure set up. It's no additional cost for them to do what they're doing. They're just putting extra strain on their already strained servers, which is why we're getting like you have to be within a certain bandwidth. It's not because it's costing them money. It's because they don't want to put any more money into buying more servers. They just want to use what they already have and profit as much as they can off of it. And there is one more thing I wanted to add to the affiliate thing that I thought was pretty shitty of them to do, and I feel like it limits a lot of exposure, is the fact that you can't restream. So, like, there's a product called Restream.io, which basically...
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, so you would think as affiliates, you would want to be able to use a Restream product to be able to stream to all of the big places and just see where you end up getting the biggest hits, right?
Right.
Because of Twitch's TOS, it limits it, because you're exclusive to them. You can't even post to YouTube within 24 hours of it, because they could just decide to remove your channel if you decide to take anything from the stream and put it on YouTube, because you've signed an exclusivity clause. So
right.
If you break that, they're not necessarily going to be like, oh, you've done that, you're gone. But they can use that for the possibility that you've done something they don't like, but they can't get rid of you, so they'll use that. It's just they have a lot of tricks in their back pocket for affiliates that keep them in line. It basically
keeps
just
the
puts
carrot. Keeps the carrot.
It keeps the dog on the leash, essentially. Right. Yeah. So it's interesting because I tried the Restream. I did try it, and this might backfire for me for admitting this on Twitch, but I tried it recently just to see what would happen. And I streamed to my old YouTube channel before it got banned, and this one, and I noticed the visibility was pretty much the same. And this is from somebody who has been streaming a year on Twitch already versus never streamed on YouTube, and I was getting just about the same amount of searches between the two. So you're right. YouTube definitely has a better search algorithm for live streamers because they don't have as many live streamers as Twitch does. So even though YouTube has thousands upon thousands of hours of video uploaded every minute, if they're looking for live streams, you just literally click on the live stream, or what was it? I think it's YouTube Gaming or some shit. I don't know what they call it anymore, but you literally click on that, and their searching is way better than Twitch. Because Twitch...
I wonder...
Oh, go for it.
I wonder if YouTube could smarten up and see that there's 2 million affiliates streaming to 1 or 2 people, right?
Yep.
I wonder if YouTube will smarten up and say, hey, I want you guys to come over here, and we're going to streamline you right into the affiliate program. People will be able to subscribe to your channel. Like, as a matter of fact, if you had a Twitch account, they should do this. They should say this. If you have a Twitch account, come on over here, tell us your Twitch name. We'll give you rush to affiliate status to be able to have people subscribe to your channel. You get a bigger cut than Twitch could ever give you. And we'll give you more freedom, more access, no DMCA, none of that. I wonder if YouTube would have the balls to do that.
So
that's Google, right? So
this is where things get fun. They actually have already started taking those steps. Oh. So,
I know Facebook Gaming did. They're offering 100% of subscriptions, I think, now.
Yes, but I don't think there's any chance YouTube will do that. Facebook is desperate. Facebook's literally desperate.
They're just desperate, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, the interesting thing about YouTube is, because I've been looking into this recently because I'm thinking of potentially switching over as well, but not for the next little while. I want my channel to build up on videos before I start making it a live stream and video channel. But looking into this, my channel, my new one anyway, which only has 65 subs, is eligible for membership monetization on live streams.
Really?
So they've done something to change it. I don't know if it's available to everybody, but at least in Canada, what I've seen is as long as you've had your channel for X amount of days and you've uploaded X amount of videos, you can start live streaming and earning memberships practically immediately.
Okay.
Because it's the memberships and joining channel is different than monetization through ads. You still wouldn't get any ad money, but if somebody wants to give you $5 for a membership, you'll get they'll take it. They're not going to say no, you're live streaming, but you're too small. They'll still
What's
take your
YouTube's
money.
cut?
YouTube's cut's actually pretty decent. So out of the $5 membership, you get three. Oh, well, I have to readjust it because for me it's in Canadian, so I'm trying to adjust it. So out of the $5 US, you get three. Yeah, you get $3. So it's a little bit better.
Yeah, that's slightly better. I know YouTube partners get a bet, or not YouTube, Twitch partners get a better deal. I think they get $3.33
Maybe.
per 5.
But the thing is
I also know that Twitch contracts are negotiated, and that they differ from partner to partner.
I will say my amount that I'm basing it off of is strictly memberships that I would see. So I'm not like super partnered or anything. I think once you hit partner with YouTube, it gets more, because there's a creator called Darkside Phil who got banned on Twitch and moved over to YouTube, and he was talking about how his memberships are only $3.99, but he gets $3 still. So the membership cost goes down.
God,
yeah, that's where the big money is, because then it's
that's
more
less
likely
for both sides. Yeah,
yep. It's more likely for people to sub though.
I wonder what Twitch is gonna do. Maybe Twitch doesn't care. Maybe they're okay with just their hot tub streamers, and they don't care. They know that if 2 million affiliates stop streaming today, they still have Amaranth.
That's true. But like even she's not even like the biggest earner for people anymore. Like the most consistent earners are, if I were to guess, it's the ones who have the most dedicated fan base. So I would say probably Moist Critical is one of their biggest money earners, because he consistently brings in about 25,000 subs a month. Bruce Green, surprisingly, from Funhouse, ends up bringing in about 20,000 subs a month. XQC, Asmongold, all of them are getting like 50,000 subs a month. Amaranth is like a drop in the puddle compared to just them. Like the problem is though, you were right earlier with the searchability of Twitch. None of the new creators are going to become the new powerhouses of Twitch, but with YouTube they could be. The thing is they're just going to continuously push the partners that are already consistently bringing in high numbers of subs, because it guarantees them that money. Yeah, exactly.
And wheel the carrot in front of us all of us affiliates.
Yep, exactly.
Killer Dreams in chat just said that that's 2 million less channels to take views away from that top 1% too. Yeah,
it is. Asmongold might be might be a consistent one. Well, see, Asmongold is probably the most consistent one. And
is that what Twitch wants? Does Twitch just want 27,000 streamers? That's what they want?
I think
that's where all the money's coming from.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think they care how many it is. They just care about the monies. And so if all of the, like, if 1% is bringing in 90% of the money.
Right. Why even bother?
Yeah.
I feel so disrespected, and I feel like there's this house party going on, and then like I'm outside with like little like streamers with like all my fucking loser friends, and we're all trying to get inside the party. And we're just like, there's no music. The party inside's banging.
Oh man, we're Shia LaBeouf from Transformers 2.
Yeah, we're Shia LaBeouf from Transformers 2, and there's like a secret. You gotta knock like 3 times, and then like wait, and then like knock 3 times to like get in the door. You know.
Yep.
I don't know what it is. I don't know how to get into that party, but I'll let you know when that happens.
Hey, same here. The problem with Twitch though is, like, they've had consistent problems. Like, the issue is they follow the money and not the opinions of the people around them. Or because if the people around them, if they followed those opinions, we wouldn't have so many problems with their moderating team. We wouldn't have so many false bans. We wouldn't have so many people getting just completely destroyed. Transparency. They would be better with that. Whereas I think YouTube is being a lot better with their transparency, because when I like see the breakdown of earnings, when I see the traffic, when I see every analytic that I'm given, there's more info there than I could possibly ever imagine getting from Twitch. Like, when I'm looking at YouTube, it'll tell me who clicked at what second, Who got off at what minute? Who watched until then? Who skipped ahead? Where are they from? What are they doing? What time was it? It'll tell me everything. Whereas on Twitch, it's just like, yay, you got 5 viewers in an hour. Oh my God, you're affiliate. Oh, you should feel so proud of yourself. Here's $1.
It's so fucking stupid. Don't get me started.
But like, the thing is I want YouTube to become the new Twitch so that
Me
Twitch
too.
gets their shit together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You need
yes,
to have
yes,
that
yes.
competition. That's why YouTube got away with so much of the shit that they've been doing over the years anyway. It's because they don't have any competition.
I think Amazon just doesn't care. They're just like Nintendo, right? They're like, PlayStation makes games. That's cool. We're just going to keep making Mario games. Oh, you made a new fucking Metal Gear Solid game? Cool. I don't give a fuck. I sold 5 million copies of Mario Brothers 3 in a single day. You think I give a fuck about Metal Gear Solid? I don't care. I feel like that's kind of the attitude.
Actually, that's a fantastic point. Oh God, I'm losing my mind here. I'm losing my train of thought. How did you start that last sentence? Because it's fairly important on where my train of thought was going.
I was saying it's kind of like Nintendo and like or Sony, right? Nintendo
yes.
really doesn't
Yes.
give a single shit about other creators.
Yeah.
They don't care about what they're doing. They don't care about what the themes are of what they're doing. They're innovating. They're doing their own thing, and they're completely ignoring the market.
Yep. Okay, so now I remember what my train of thought was. So essentially, I think out of everybody who's doing the console wars, the best one right now is Microsoft. For one big reason. Their Game Pass is on PC. And their Game Pass gives you access to all of the new releases day one. So there's absolutely no point in owning an Xbox if you have a gaming PC. There's no such thing as exclusivity between the two because they own Windows. So they just made it easier for people who have a PC to put more money into the software that they're licensing, which gives them 100% profit, compared to a console that's already losing them $300 every time it's bought. So Microsoft smartened up and decided to make it a universal kind of thing that balances between PC and console. And that's where I give a lot of respect for them, because it leads to us getting all the games from those consoles that would usually be exclusive to us. So they are innovating a little bit more than every other company is. Nintendo is taking away, whereas Xbox is giving. Sorry.
I was going to say that's good. No, it's good. It's a good point. But I think you're missing something that puts the. Yeah, I mean, you make a good point. That puts the customer first and not the developer.
Yes.
Which is good. Maybe that's where we need to go to, because the developers are fucking panicking because they're trying to figure out how to get these games cross-platform. It's fucking hard. There's a reason why the game I play, Satisfactory, people always ask about it. Is this going to be on fucking the Switch? Is this going to be on whatever? Motherfucker, it's a PC game.
Like that's the thing that I find so interesting, because I feel like with all the companies that are out there, the only one that can really the random mod Kip. I feel like the only one that can really balance PC and Xbox crossover is Windows. They make both of the products. They make the software. So
I guess your engine is based in Windows, right?
Yeah.
So at least the cross there is not so bad.
Exactly. Which is why I'm looking forward to the new Halo. I mean, not to shit on the console plebs, but if it's cross-platform, mouse and keyboard's gonna kick your ass every time. So it's gonna be great for me. It's gonna be great for my content, but it might piss a lot of people off because they're gonna be playing with PC players. Yeah, like they're going to be playing with controllers, with keyboards. That's not necessarily going to be the funnest thing, but at least it gives that accessibility where if your friend doesn't want to get a PC gaming rig or doesn't want to play with mouse and keyboard, he can still sit on his 75-inch TV with his Xbox controller in his hand and his headset on and still play with you. And I think that's great. Hey, you've seen me play World of Warcraft. You know I'm a filthy casual.
Filthy. You're not allowed to be comfortable while playing video games. I'm fucking sorry. Your back's supposed to be sore in an office chair. If you're comfortable,
I'm
you're
6'4" and fat. I'm always uncomfortable. I mean, what am I supposed to say to that? I'm a sweaty mess.
Gaming is supposed to be a sweaty goddamn mess, okay? It's not supposed to be this comfortable, enjoyable experience. You're supposed to be frustrated. You're supposed to be sweating. You're supposed to be installing problems. It should not involve something that sits in your hand like this and you relaxed on a bed.
Holy
sorry.
shit!
It's
I
just,
can tell
it's
this.
just what it is.
I can tell today was the first stream you've caught of mine because half of me is just going. Half of my stream is me going, "Fuck! God damn it! Son of a bitch! Why do I suck?"
Because you're a filthy casual.
Yeah,
Because you're a filthy casual.
I mean, hell, I didn't
Filthy
even know you could
fucking
shift click
casual.
names in World of Warcraft.
How the fuck do these people play Call of Duty with the controller? Have you seen this shit?
Scuff controllers. Have you ever played with a scuff controller?
Oh hell yeah, I've played with, dude. I grew up with N64. I've been playing with scuffed controllers.
No, not scuffed. It's a brand called Scuff. They basically,
Oh my.
yeah. So a scuff controller, yeah, scuffed controllers. I've played with a lot in my past too. But the funny thing is the reasons like these pros that use controllers can like play against PC players is because their controller has 8 other buttons on the back of their controller. So they pre-program them. They play on PC. They're not playing on Xbox
they're
or PlayStation.
fucking cheaters.
Yeah, I guess you could say it that
Got
way.
it.
I mean, I don't see it as cheating because the aim is Sofa Queen's right. The aim assist does help them, but I still shit on controller kids all the time. They can't snap like a PC player can. Have you seen how Symphony plays? That dude's like a crackhead looking for his next hit. He's just like jumping around. He's like Gollum looking for the ring. This dude's unstoppable. And then you look at the what's his name, Swag, and you look at him. He's like zoomed in on his forehead and his webcam. He's clicking his buttons. He's just like no shot. And then he drops a couple of N bombs and he gets all pissed off. And it's like, oh okay. There's a stark contrast here.
I don't know how they do it. I don't know. I played Halo.
Oh, I was a Halo player. Yep. How about you,
Played
Oz?
Halo once.
Yeah, I know. I'm PC gamer. Yeah. So shooters. My shooter was Unreal Tournament. That was
Okay.
when I was playing the shooters. You gotta have a mouse and keyboard, man.
You for
Yeah,
sure,
that-
Oz. You for sure have bought a console or a console game at some point. You need to tell me which one.
Well, I mean, in the household, we've had the. I'm a PlayStation guy. Then, if I have to have a console.
Oh, interesting.
I had a PlayStation 3, and we have a PlayStation 4. They're upstairs right now. We don't use them much, but I was a Sega kid growing up, rather than Nintendo. So,
Unfortunately, I never got to own the Sega Genesis. I always played at a friend's house. I still think that's the most underrated console of its time.
which one?
The Sega Genesis?
Sega Saturn, bro.
Was the Sega Saturn better?
It
Oh,
could
hell
you could put the cinematics because it was a disc.
Yeah.
So like you would get cinematic cuts in your games and stuff. Because
Oh shit, that's the one I'm thinking. Okay, yes. Wait, is the Genesis the one that had the cartridges still?
Yeah, that's the cartridge.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of the wrong one then.
Sega CD
Saturn.
add-on, but the actual standalone full console that used the CD was the Saturn.
Yeah, so Saturn was an underrated console. It's so underrated, I got it wrong.
Not only was the Sega Saturn underrated, but I will argue that the Dreamcast also was underrated. Which, by the way, the first console to mainstream dial-up internet into the console itself. The PlayStation attempted it, but I think you had to have like a piece that you had to add on to it. But fucking Dreamcast had a modem on the goddamn console. Now that was revolutionary.
I remember that. My cousin was a big proprietor of that game back in the day. I never got to play any of it because I was like 5 or 6 at the time, and the only games he owned was like I think he owned a version of Killer Instinct. I remember Killer Instinct being a thing. I can't remember if that was on Sega Genesis or Saturn or Dreamcast, but I remember him owning the Dreamcast, and I just couldn't play anything because it was all too old for me. So I would just sit there and watch. I'm like, what's the difference between me playing and watching? It made no sense to me.
Sofa makes a good point. I think we're steering away from Twitch's targeted demographic.
Oh yeah. TikTok.
I don't even think something TikTok, something twerking. Wait, is twerking out now? I don't know.
I think twerking's out. No. Twerking's been brought back in because somebody let their kid twerk in the middle of New York Times Square or whatever. Did you see that controversy? That was fucking silly.
No, I stay away from the internet.
It's hard to stay away from the internet.
Yeah, I get in some pretty big holes.
That's what the internet's for.
The internet is for porn, and it's also for like endless searching on YouTube. You know what I've been really into lately? This is gonna sound really weird. So like I've been into true crime
Yep.
for a
boy.
while. Okay, I've been like pretty hardcore. There's a really good true crime YouTuber.
Is it that chapter?
He's got no. He's got like 6 videos, but they're fucking brilliant. And he has,
JCS?
like, yeah, JCS.
JCS Criminal Psychology. Yeah, I watched all of
Yeah.
those. I went on a
Holy
bender with that one.
Fuck, he's so good.
Well, he's got an edge on people because he actually studied criminal psychology, whereas a lot of these
he actually is educated.
yeah, whereas a lot of these people that are doing true crime shows like that chapter, even though his channel's good or Coffee House Crime, they're just reiterating things that they found on the internet, but in a more laid out script. Whereas with JCS, he's like, and as you can see here, he's doing what is known as the read technique. And that is, well, one that I find a little bit strange. And he goes into details about it.
I think people know the difference. And I think
100%.
that just goes to show you that you really only need a few real good quality pieces of content that you have just pile drive fucking countless hours into. And you've delivered value that is just unprecedented. And I kind of think of that sometimes, and I'm like, I make satisfactory content. What the fuck can I do with satisfactory content?
Giant penises. Just build gigantic dogs.
You can do it. Let's game it out. Josh did, and he fucking made a hypertube that launched you across the map. But you know that was it. But,
shit. Build a banana. Damn it, D-Relish. Penis factory. I would find that pretty satisfactory if you ask me. I had to use it. They made the name a pun.
They did.
Did either of you see the new JCS video where it's pretending you're insane?
Yes, the guy. Yeah, dude, I fucking watch him like it was like 3 months until between his content, and that just came out. It was funny in the comments. They were all like, "This guy fucking disappears for 3 months and drops this motherfucker," and then less than a week, it had like 100 fucking million views or something. I gotta check it, but
I think it was at 49 million the last time I checked. I could be off on that,
dude.
but he that was the first time he posted in like what was it? A
while.
Year? I think it was like a year, and it just boom videos. He's like the JonTron of true crime.
Thirsty.
He is the JonTron of true crime. Easy.
Everyone was so thirsty. So.
Oh, thank you for the follow, Sofa Queen. I appreciate that.
I never got into the true crime stuff. What I got like way into during the pandemic was this is gonna be super nerdy, but I got way into the Warhammer 40k lore, and there was this channel that does really in-depth Warhammer 40k lore stuff. So I was just learning about all of that.
I dinked around with Dark Angels when I was a kid. Those were my dudes. I don't know why I chose Dark Angels. I think it was a nice mix between like the standard Marine and like the fucked up Marines. Because I was like, the standard Marines, they're bitches. And those fucked up Marines, they're ugly as hell and they look like demons and shit, and I don't want anything to do with them. And so I think like the Dark Angels were like some mix in between. I don't know. I don't know anything about Warhammer 40k.
Yep, that was just the weird niche thing that I was just looking for time to kill during the reduced hours I had for the pandemic. I actually worked through most of the pandemic, but the first couple of months were slow, so I needed some entertainment. I'm actually late to the Twitch show. I showed up here in like February, like late February, early March, when like everything was kind of starting to taper off and people were either getting bored with it or whatever. So I showed up a little late to the Twitch party here.
The Twitch party?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So
hold on. I was gonna finish that true crime story. I got sidetracked. Sorry, that's the point of this, right? I can't understand normal thinking. So from that, I don't know, I somehow ended up on some horror history. Not horror history, but horror history.
Yep.
Like lore and stuff. this is gonna sound super nerdy, but have you guys ever seen the Conjuring movies?
Yes. Yep.
If not,
Oh no, yes. Oh god. I have some bad stories. I'll tell stories about that after. But let's hear where you're going with this.
Well, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just gonna keep talking till you tell me to shut the fuck up.
Oh, go
for
it. You're not gonna get that here.
So I don't know what did it, but I've always kind of been into the good versus like I'm agnostic, right?
Same.
That's pretty fucking clear. I don't think that we can possibly know if there is a God, even if there is one.
I'm just highly against organized religion. I don't care if you believe in anything
Sure.
above or whatever God you believe in. I just don't like organized religion because of the corruption behind it.
Sure,
So
I get
therefore
that.
I have to be agnostic because I don't believe in religion.
That ties in with what I believe too, but at the same time, if you're a God and you created this fucking universe, what business do you have sending messages down to some menial fucking species that lives on a blue dot in a fucking arm of a single galaxy out of billion fucking trillions of galaxies? Anyways, that's beside the point. That's a whole nother fucking stream.
Okay, just before you dip away from that, I just want to bring something to mind here. So, you know how there's a visible universe? And how we're always trying to explore the visible universe and educate ourselves from it? There's
Right.
one problem with the visible universe, and that is the way that light travels. So the way we're seeing
Yep.
planets now at the furthest edge of the universe, that is an image of that universe 14.8 trillion years ago, or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we see life on those planets if that's just an image from
Right.
14 trillion years ago, from when
The idea is
the
that
universe
something
started?
something could have came and gone in the time that we even looked at it, right? So, and then something can exist now, and that even by the time that they look and see us, we're going to be long gone.
Yep.
We could even look out into space, see something, and know that they've already lived and died
Yep.
millions, billions of years ago,
Mhm.
and it wouldn't even matter.
Well-
Yeah, I think the problem with the universe and just physics and space in general for people is it's so hard to wrap your mind around the physical size of what we're talking about. And I think that throws people in a fucking loop. And I think it's a lot easier for them to think that Earth is at the center of the universe.
So here's sorry, this kind of stuff gave me an existential crisis. So I'm just gonna quickly add some things to this. So
Go for it.
The funny thing is like, even if we don't see ourselves expanding as quickly as we should, the idea of 1,000 or 100,000 years from now, we could just be gone like every other civilization before us, even
Right.
though we know as much as we do, is really depressing because of how much greed and anger influences us to destroy ourselves instead of expanding on ourselves. So the fact that even small groups like Elon Musk trying to colonize Mars isn't getting as much of a push as it should be, it really should be the next look at of what we need to do as a species. Because honestly, in 8 billion years, our sun gone, boom, exploded. So even if our civilization thrived, if we're not going to colonize other planets that could work for us, we're screwed regardless.
Right.
And like in 8 billion years, we could learn so much if our fucking selfishness just decided to stop looking in at ourselves and just expanded
8
our
billion?
minds.
You're giving us 8 billion. Is that your diagnostics, doctor?
Well, no, that's what I remember reading from a research.
I mean, our star, yeah.
Yeah, like they
Star's
were like,
gonna
oh, it's
grow,
gonna go like this.
Maybe, yeah.
But then I also have this problem with the universe. It's that it's so young. Like honestly, even though our universe is 14 billion years old, that
Right.
is a drop
Our
in the
galaxy,
puddle for what they consider our universe to be able to live tell. Like I watched this video made by, I think it was called MelodySheep, called like a time lapse of the universe, and it was like a 55-minute video where the time just doubled every second. So it went from our time to 100 trillion years in the future. So we're talking infinite amount of time before the universe just ceases to be. But how do we know this? We're strictly basing this off of the patterns that we see now. But how
We're
much
measuring
is,
expansion.
yeah, we're like, well, they are measuring expansion, but who's to say that that measurement is off because we don't actually know how stars are made? We have a theory, and a theory that can't necessarily be proven yet, but we're basing everything off of theories, things that make the most sense. But what if our solution isn't what makes the most sense? What if our universe, what if our physics is just a layer upon another layer upon another layer? Like, that's where afterlife comes to me. Like, how do we know there's no afterlife if we still don't know our own science? We can't know. So that's why I'm agnostic versus atheist. Because there's no possible way of measuring this. There's no possible way of knowing that everything that we know, all of our theories, all of our hypotheses, they're all just based on what we can see at the present time.
I've got a science story then, because about measurement and about being unable to measure things. So there you know the light slit experiment? Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay. So they would shoot a beam of light, right, at a board, and then they would see how the lights, what lights appear on the other side, and they couldn't explain that, right? They didn't understand what that was coming from, but essentially, we gained the ability to. Through instrumentation and experiment, we finally gained an ability to explain what was going on. I don't want to say that we won't be able to, but like with some things, like there's gotta maybe one day we discover some sort of instrument that allows us to see past life and into death. I don't know, but then we'd have to. There's so many more questions with that. Like measuring what death is, measuring what
life is.
What life is even, right? Yeah. So like, I don't want to say that we can't do that. I think the one thing that I will say is that if there is a God, I don't think he's sending messages to humans to write in pages in a book, right? That sounds a little far-fetched to me. Like you're this God who created this entire universe, and you're choosing a single planet from trillions of planets to send messages to.
So I actually have an interesting theory about that. And this is what I've been thinking about for a while. What if our version of God is just our future species? Like, think about it. What if, as time goes on, we've actually harnessed the power of the universe? Like, black holes are just a consistent generator of energy. If somebody was able to harness the power of a black hole, they'd be going faster than the speed of light, no problem. So what if our future generations are coming back to help us be a little bit better than what we were when we were, growing?
That's interesting. I never really thought of that.
Well,
like secretly, like covertly, like fucking time cops.
Well, it's not even just that. Think about aliens, right? Like, what is our typical view of an alien? It's a tiny little green creature with huge eyes, a tiny mouth, right?
If you're an idiot,
and
that's
a big
what you
head.
think an alien is.
But,
if you're an idiot, that's what you think an alien is.
But the thing is there is some validation to that. Like, I watched an entire video of this on why we associate aliens with that. The thing is if our race were to, like, evolve over 100 million, 200 million years, and let's say, for instance, our sun disappeared out of nowhere, right? Our eyes would evolve to become huge and solid black, and that's to absorb as much light as it can from the universe, right? We would also become smaller to reserve body heat. We wouldn't want to become bigger because it becomes harder to actually keep that body mass. And what happens to our tiny mouths? Well, because we're not eating as much, we're not using it as frequently, it becomes less needed. And let's say, for instance, the people that are using that have had these alien abduction things. I know it sounds crazy, but listen, the people that have had those, like, sorry?
I said, welcome to Can't Understand Normal Things.
I know. This is where I've had 4 beers and I'm getting crazy. But think about it. So people that have had alien abduction stories, right? The first thing they say is they heard a voice in their head. So that would explain why the head is getting larger on the aliens. Their brain power is increasing, and it's making them less needed in terms of mouth or physical communication. Instead, it's telepathic. So if all of these things combined, those quote unquote aliens, those green little freaks, could just be the future version of humans that have come back to try to help us not be as shitty as we were. To try to keep them from becoming little green freaks.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think aliens are cloud creatures that we don't understand anything about. They could very well be like a sentient cloud. I think that we are so fucking caught up in ourselves. We want everything to have some semblance of humanity. We are addicted with our selfish attitude about who we are. We're the center of the fucking universe. Even this asshole who came up with this story about humans evolving into these aliens, that is a human, very human trait to think that would happen.
And it all circles back to us.
Exactly. That somehow it circles back to us. Fuck off.
It better be cool, right? It would still be pretty cool.
I mean, that was pretty cool, but the reality is
that was the case.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but it's still really interesting.
It is interesting. Nonetheless, I think the more reality that we have to consider is that when we do find life, it will be nothing like
100%.
we imagine. Nothing.
I actually recommend a good video for anybody who's watching this. It's made by MelodySheep as well. It's called the Museum of Life, I think, or Alien Life. Either way, it's got like 50 million views. And it's literally just a CGI video that shows what life would be like on other planets. It's super high quality. It's probably the best thing I've ever seen on YouTube. It's IMAX quality in terms of like educational video. It's insane.
Can you put the link in the chat over there for everyone?
Yes, let me actually find it first.
Right.
I didn't have this in front of me as we were talking. Oh wait, yeah, I put it in front of you. It's a good thing this was on YouTube and not YouPorn.
You pull that up. I'll finish my story. I'll talk to Oz about it.
Go.
I'm gonna finish my story about the horror lore, right? So I was asking about, have you seen The Conjuring? Because I've always loved the good and evil things. Like there's been like these really cool movies about angels and demons, like fighting and stuff and like protecting. Like I could give two shits about like real life angels and demons, but there's something about angels and demons in the fantasy world that's really fucking interesting to me.
So I dropped it in chat and Discord. Sorry.
Thanks. And so like The Conjuring, they talk about actual demons who work for Belial, which is like the I guess the devil, right? And so I've been really interested in like learning more about all these demons and stuff. You know, you don't learn about demons in school, right? Because you're just some asshole who's gonna bomb the place, right? Right? Like you're trying to summon demons. Did you guys know that there's literally books that tell you how to summon demons? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Like legit ones from back in the day. Like this is like turn of the BC fucking ancient texts that were written about how to fucking summon demons.
My cousin owns a copy of the Necronomicon, the actual Necronomicon.
There you go.
So it was an interesting
bullshit.
read. Yeah, but it's still interesting.
It's complete bullshit, but yes, it's fascinating, right? Yeah. And so The Conjuring's based off a lot of this lore, and it's absolutely interesting to me. And I've just been diving on this YouTube fucking trail where I'm just diving deeper and deeper and like learning about like Mathis and like all these demons that are under Belial, which is like the devil, right? I guess that some people consider. Anyways, check out The Conjuring. I have not seen a single movie, but I want to.
Oh, have you not seen any of them?
Not any of them.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay, this is a question for both of you. How much do you like sleazy B-rated horror movies?
I hate them.
Like Evil Dead? You hate it?
Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like hold on, like the what was the two British guys, the skinny guy and the fat guy, they do stuff together.
Oh, Simon Pegg and the other one. Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead.
It's really funny for like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it loses some of its luster. Right? Yeah. I don't know. Like it's more of like a commercial. Like it would be really good in a commercial. Like I imagine like a commercial where they're trying to sell a car and like they're running away from the zombies, Simon Pegg and his fat friend, And
Yep.
then they're like,
Nick
yeah,
Frost.
they're like, oh, I gotta get away from these zombies, and they kill zombies, and it's really funny. And then they come up to an open area, and then boom, there's the car like in pristine condition, like the new car like that Ford came out that they're selling, and they get in it and they drive away. That's I think what that kind of comedy is for. A full fucking featured length film, an hour and 45, sometimes 2 hours of that, I think is just really hard to pull off successfully.
So I guess maybe B-rated horror was the wrong thing to really compare it to, because like B-rated horror has changed over the last couple decades. Like
Sure.
Shaun of the Dead, a perfect example. That's
Yeah,
a
Shaun of the Dead,
B-rated
thank you.
horror. That's a
But
complete
that was
B-rated horror.
purposely B-rated.
Exactly, but they've managed it so
it was
well.
satire on satire.
Yep, and I think they executed it perfectly. I don't think anybody else could have done it as well as they did. It's one of my favorite zombie movies, after all.
Listen, I like it. It's just not an hour and
No,
45 minutes.
I get you. I can understand that. I completely get that. But with The Conjuring, I've watched the entire series. It is
Is it B-rated?
It's corny as fuck.
Oh no.
It's super corny. Like it's donkey shit in a cornfield corny. It's bad. It's not great.
If you're into that sort of thing, I don't know if you're much of a sci-fi guy at all or not,
Oh, I
but
love it.
Babylon 5 is an amazing show from back
Oh
in the
my
90s that really touches
God.
on like the whole it's initially presented as like a good versus evil thing, and you're supposed to it's obvious which side the two sides are, but then it kind of changes over time as more like an order versus chaos kind of thing, and the guys who you thought were the good guys actually aren't so much, and like there's this one race of aliens where everybody sees them as like a different thing because they've been going around to all the other aliens like over the hundreds of millions of years and like conditioning them to like view them as God. So
Huh.
like
Yo, I gotta watch this.
it's campy.
Babylon 5 is good.
It's very much of the 90s. It was much lower budget than Star Trek, but it's so fucking good. It's so well written. And it's the show that pioneered the 5-year arc. So it's like everything ties together. It's not Monster of the Week. It's a ride. And if you can get through the first season, it's because like I said, it's a real campy, but it's so fucking good. If you haven't seen Babylon 5 before,
I have not seen. I maybe have seen like episodes or parts, but I haven't seen it like exclusively like sitting down. I'm a big fucking fan of Next Generation, so it's around that same era.
I will say, as somebody who also watched Babylon 5 growing up, it is totally worth sitting down and watching. It's totally fucking worth it. It's just as campy as Doctor Who is. Like I put it in that same space as Doctor Who.
I am not a fan of Doctor Who. I can't do it.
It's not the same show. I just mean like it gives
Yeah.
that same kind of effect where it's campy, but if you like that particular type of campiness, you will love the show. So it's worth sitting down and at least giving it like a 3 or 4 episode trial. And if you don't like it, you're not going to like the rest of the series.
Right.
basically, it's what I always do is I always direct people to go watch my favorite episode from season 4 to kind of so that way you can see like where the show will get to, because that episode's really high quality and has a lot of really good stuff in it. And so it kind of it's my way of like helping to get people convinced to like stick it out to see how you get to that point.
Right.
And that was how I got my fiance to sit down with me, and I've got all the DVDs. In fact, I've got season.
What's a DVD?
right here? Yeah, right? Oh,
What
check
is a
this out.
what is a
Right, so look.
DVD?
This thing,
DVD.
With the
and
DVD?
it's got these round thingies.
Uh-huh.
See, they're round, and you can put them inside a thing.
This is for
and,
our
like,
13-year-old viewers. Okay,
Yeah.
take a look. Yeah.
You get and it's kind of like a music CD, but it has like moving pictures on it.
A
Like-
music CD?
Yeah. Oh God.
What's
You
a
know what?
music CD?
So,
God damn it.
oh man, you bring up some really good points, and I hate you for it.
Thank you. That's what I'm here for.
Oh,
You mean
man.
MP3?
I made those,
I've
but you
seen
know
that
what?
on YouTube. MP3s? I know what those are.
Oh shit.
No, it's pretty interesting. Have you seen those videos where they give the kids the this touch tone phone, and they say it's a phone, but they're not sure how to use it?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, come on, there's buttons there. You fucking press those buttons. This isn't ancient fucking Sumerian technology. It's not that fucking hard to understand. I really can't believe that these kids don't know to push the fucking buttons.
Okay,
There's no goddamn way on this planet that they don't know to push those buttons. They were coached to look confused and delirious and to be funny, and that's what it's for, but it's all fucking lies.
Problem is it's not. I've tried this.
Are you sure?
I have tried this with my little cousin and her friends. So
Okay, you gave them a touch-tone phone.
not only that, not like a rotary phone. I gave them like, you know, those phones that like clamshell phones where they basically open up like a flip phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Oh yeah, flip phone.
yeah, flip phone. I was. Why did I call it a clamp? Fuck it. All right, a flip phone. It's
a clamshell phone.
Sure.
That's just what boomers call
So
it. Yeah.
before I get into this, I just have to ask: how old are both of you?
I'm turning 35 in August.
Okay, so I'm the young gun.
Next weekend.
Okay, I'm literally the youngest one here. I'm 27. Yeah. So even I was raised with these technologies. I was raised with flip phones. I was raised with
94?
93. I was born on 9/11. September 11th, 1993. Yeah. So I get a parade every year, and
I think
if
you're
anybody
at the
forgets my
edge.
birthday, they're fucked.
I think you're almost a Zoomer.
I'm actually millennial, full-on millennial. Millennials end
Yeah,
1996.
I think 84 to 93 are millennials. You're right on the edge.
No, 96. It should be 96.
Is it?
Yeah, it should be 96.
96 goes all the way to millennials.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a millennial too. It's like 84, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm one of those first-gen non-functioning millennials.
Ah, yes, the ones that are confused about the boomers and the zoomers.
Millennial, 81 to 96. Holy shit!
Oh,
15 years.
I was right by the end. I got the last year right. Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's good.
But I remember when my little cousin was 8. This must have been, I think this was 4 or 5 years ago. I remember finding my old flip phone, and it even I was just like, oh, I can't believe I remember typing on a T9 keyboard. But I remember giving it to my little cousin and her friends just to see what they would do, and I turned it on and I put a prepaid SIM in there, and it was just like a little cheap text thing. If they went through the $10, they went through the $10. But I wanted to see if they could send me a text message. Oh man, it was great. What a nightmare. So they just kept looking at it. They like clicked one button. They're like, how do I do anything other than the first letter? And they just kept playing with it until, like, I think it took them 20 minutes to figure out exactly how to use it. Because one kid finally just kept clicking the button over and over and finally looked at it and was like, oh, it's changing! So then
That's why I call bullshit, because any kid with a fucking brain can figure out to push those goddamn buttons.
No, I've seen it firsthand. I don't believe it. You give kids too much credit. They're not as smart as they seem.
You're right. I was a teacher. I was in the front lines of that.
Yeah, like I know you. I think I remember you mentioning you were a teacher, but
I currently am still licensed by the state of Colorado to teach children, but that's neither here nor there.
But the restraining order makes it hard.
Yeah, that one judge just would not let it go.
It wasn't my fault. I was friends with Jared from Subway.
Yeah, he told me about a good investment. We got locked into a friendship, and there's no turning back.
And then you got the
me and Jared.
Just it.
Yeah. Me and Jared, we shared a home in Oahu together. It was fucking great.
Yeah. Was that close to Epstein's Island?
Yeah, it's close. It's right up there off the 1-5. Just turn left.
Nice.
And you'll find it.
Fuck.
Did I finish my story yet, or did I finish?
No, I interrupted you to just be like, "Hey, I did this little experiment with my little cousin."
No, this is good. This is good because that means it's going well. If we've gotten sidetracked like 5 times now.
Yeah, I mean that's how all my podcasts go. So welcome to cunt.
It's good. So can't understand normal thinking. That's what that means.
Yes.
It doesn't mean anything else.
No, it's just the abbreviation.
Very, very disrespectful word, by the way.
Yeah.
That I'm firmly against ever using.
Me too. Totally not going to make merch with this.
Yeah. No.
No.
I'm not offended by a lot of things, but that word does something, irks me a little bit. Anyways,
I was just gonna say something stupid. I'm gonna take it back before I say it.
probably should. Yeah.
Yep. Nope. As soon as I thought it, I was like, "This is cancelable. I'm gonna stop." Gonna pour another beer.
Yep. Nice. I do have to run from the show here in a little bit, but I just wanted to end with saying, I think my point was the YouTube hole and the lore for all of the devils and stuff. I find it incredibly interesting. And if you're into like fantasy or like devil and like angel and you want nothing to do with that, go check out Conjuring, because I think I'm going to be looking at it myself because there's some really interesting stuff going on there. But yeah.
I will add on to that, if you are interested in The Conjuring, definitely look up, I can't remember their names, but the ones that actually performed the exorcisms in the movie. I can't for the life of me remember what their names were.
They were based in real life.
Yeah.
Right?
No, they had
real stories.
hundreds of adventures, and like the actual news articles and stuff are fucking trippy. So
it was like in the UK in like the 60s, right? There was this
I thought
family.
It was in the States.
No, there was a UK case where there was this family who was they were recording evidence of an actual of an actual a paranormal event.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, no. What I thought you were talking about how they were based from like the UK, and I was like, I thought they were from America. I don't remember this.
No, there's an they draw on some American stuff. They draw on some. So in World War II, they were bombing.
I just found their
French.
names. It's the Warrens. Look up the Warrens if you want a really good deep dive into supernatural stuff. Look them up. Even their real life stories that haven't been like exaggerated by the movies, they are fucking crazy. You have to read them. They're insane, and the video footage on YouTube is just as crazy.
So in World War II, they were bombing France, right? And so French cathedrals and stuff were getting destroyed.
Yes.
And during this time, they bombed a cathedral that was said to have been holding like back a demon that was supposedly exorcised like during I don't know, like some bullshit period where I don't know, probably Roman Catholic period. Anyways, that was excised, and supposedly after this bombing, they saw a nun walking through the corridors that they didn't recognize. And there's supposedly a lot of people recording that they that they saw this, and I was like, it was pretty interesting because not only are you getting me interested because it's angels and demons, but you're getting me interested because now you're tying it into real life, and I think that's what brings me in the most.
So if that's kind of what you're dipping into, do you find yourself looking at these YouTube paranormal investigators and thinking this is entertaining, or are you thinking it's mostly a sham?
I know it's a joke. The whole thing's a joke, but I find it incredibly fascinating at the same time.
Do you mind if I recommend one that I find fascinating but is really hard to tell if it's a joke?
I know that they're all jokes. I don't believe in ghosts. So
no, but what I'm saying is they do
spirits or devils or demons.
No. What I'm saying is it's hard to tell. Like they do a really good job of making it seem real. Like I didn't say that it was completely legit.
Right. Okay.
They just do a really good job. I dropped it in the Discord. I'll also drop it in the chat. These guys
do
are
they
actually
ever at any point say that they are bullshit, or do they actually try to?
They try to play it up
as being. Yeah, they try to play it off as being actual real stuff. Okay,
but
right.
I will say if they are fully 100% bullshit and they stage everything, their live streams are really weird because some things happen in the live streams. So I'm like, if they fuck that up in a live stream, that's hard to do. So this channel specifically does live streams during investigations.
Wow, they do really well because their numbers aren't adding up. 128K subs and their average view count is really high.
Yeah, they do really well. This is probably my favorite paranormal channel.
You know what it is? I know what it is. People watch their shit and don't sub. These poor guys.
No. The people that have subbed from one particular video. I think it was called the Still Creek Demon House. That is the one that got them the most views and all of their subs because of how well it was put together.
I like their thumbnails. Sculty Satisfactory Community does something very similar to the thumbnails. It's clean. I love that clean look.
I think you will both love their content. But if you are only going to give one video a chance, watch the I think it's the Demon House. I can't remember if it's called Still Creek, but it's the Demon House.
Demon House. I see it right here. I'm gonna add it to my save.
Even if you don't believe in
Watch later.
paranormal or anything, that is 100% worth watching, because even if it ends up being fake, I mean, I don't believe it. I don't know if Oz believes it. I know Rune doesn't. Oz, what do you think? Paranormal? Yay, nay?
No, I don't believe it. It's like it's our brains just trying to, it's our fight or flight just kind of manifesting it just to fuck with us.
Trying to give an excuse to a reason.
Yeah. Like if you're inside an old creaky house, it's going to make you want to get out of the house because it's old and creaky and could probably fucking collapse because it's a piece of shit. Not that there's actually ghosts there. It's just the environment isn't safe. Yeah, and then your brain's just going to trick you to get out however it needs to. But
exactly.
You find the idea of this stuff like fascinating. I don't believe it. It's like, man, this is neat. It's neat in the same way that like dragons are neat, or like you know, like elves and dungeons and like it's the same. It's the same thing.
Completely agree.
Thing.
So that's why I think you both will specifically appreciate that episode, because like watching it for me, I was just like, oh, this is really cool, and then something happened, and I was just like, that's really hard to fake. So they did it.
Even though I don't believe in it, I am a giant pussy, so it might freak me anyway.
So hold on. I got a ghost story. I got a ghost story before I go.
Sweet. Okay.
This is my farewell story. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm working security in a performing arts center, and this performing arts center has been around for 40, 50 years or whatever, like since like the since it's been around for a while, since like the 70s. And I think 40, it's like a 40-year-old. They like built it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyways, I'm working security there, and I'm kind of new to the place. And man, this place is fucking creepy at night because I turn off all the lights. Like I have to turn off all the lights in the place. Like that's my job as security, is to go around, go into a room, turn the lights off, and then go to the next room and turn the lights off and check the rooms, right? Is anyone in here? Turn the lights off, whatever, keep moving, right? And it was really cool because I could be a total jackass and just be in one of those dark rooms on my phone and just fuck around for like 10 or 15 minutes and get paid to fuck around. By the way, if you think security guards aren't fucking around constantly during their day, you're sadly fucking mistaken.
Honestly,
they are taking full advantage.
I've been a security guard. I used to bring my laptop and play video games on my laptop.
There you go.
You guys completely deserve that right to do that, though. Like, what is happening in a consistent night that anything happens?
You're kind of right. We're there for liability and insurance reasons. So if you just need a body to stand there that's a real person, then boy, I'm your guy. Anyways,
fuck it.
Fuck it.
Or anything. We weren't supposed to break it up. You're supposed to observe and report.
Yeah.
Yes, observe and report.
It sounds like a smooth job for that.
No, it was. I've got another story, but I'll save that for another time. So, anyways, I'm walking around this place, and I'm turning off all the lights, and the rafters up in like a theater area.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so like where the projector is and all the lights are and everything like that. Usually, the way to get up into that projector room, like where all the lights are and everything like that, there's actually no like external stairway up to there. You have to go like internally and like climb up the stairs, right? It's usually
I didn't know that.
yeah.
That's interesting.
The theater that I'm in, right? So like I have to climb these stairs. That's basically the emergency exit stairs, right? Like on every floor, you'd have the emergency exit stairs.
Yeah.
So instead of going down, you'd go up, right, past where the top floor would normally be, where people would be.
Makes sense.
There'd be a sign that says like, "Don't go up these stairs," but they're just your standard set of stairs that leads you up to the projector room. So I'm just doing my rounds. I'm going up. I go up into the projector room. I open it up, and it's fucking it's pitch black, and I've got to check the room, right, and I have no fucking clue where the light is, right. I go into the projector. It's like this is at the top of a stairwell. I'm already kind of freaking out. I don't believe in ghosts. Keep in mind, like I don't believe in demons, none of this. But he's totally right. It's the flight or flight thing, right? It's like you hear something, you feel something. In the movies, they bullshit you that's a ghost touching your back. Whatever, fuck that. That's not what's going on. It's fight or flight, right? They're like if the hairs stand up on your fucking neck, that's a ghost.
That's air conditioning kicking in.
That's the ghost pooping on you.
Your body's ready to throw down.
Yeah. And so I open the door and I walk into the room and I have to close the door behind me to like get all the way in there, right? And it's pitch fucking black. I'm telling you, I didn't have my light on me because I was like, that thing's fucking heavy and I don't like carrying it around. And I was like, I can walk around in the dark. Fuck it. And so I go into the room. I close the door behind me and it fucking latches shut like real fucking hard, like bam, like out of a fucking horror movie. I shit you not, right? And so I'm walking into the middle of the room, searching everywhere for a fucking light, right? And then out of fucking nowhere, I hear this goddamn voice, dude, and it was like, oh, I shit you not. It was like a fucking ghost, dude. It was a fucking ghost. I could have sworn I had my first fucking paranormal goddamn activity. It just happened to me. I'd never experienced it before. It was the first fucking time. And dude, I fucking jetted out of that room. And I went ran downstairs and I told my security partner and I was like, okay, so I don't believe in ghosts, but I'm pretty fucking sure I just heard a ghost in this fucking room right now. You need to come upstairs and we need to go be ghost hunters together. And he was jacked on cocaine to find some fucking ghosts. And I was like, let's fucking do it, dude. So we walk up there together because I'm like, all right, I feel better now. Now I'm at least with somebody. We go back in the fucking room. He goes in there. He knows where the light is. He turns on the light and guess fucking what? I want you to guess. I want to hear a guess from Oz. I want to hear a guess from Ruthless what you think was fucking going on in that room.
All right, Oz, you go first. I got to think about this. I'm drunk.
This is a projector room?
Projector room. Yeah, I go in there, completely dark. I walk in and I hear, like a fucking ghost. Like a fucking ghost. Like your standard fucking ghost you'll hear.
Did they leave some sort of audio playing or something? Something...
Okay, your guess is audio playing? Okay.
I have a guess. I'm thinking somebody was getting a handy in one of the seats that was there during the after movie. And they were just like,
okay, hold on. Not a theater like a projector theater, like movies, like a theater, like a play theater.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that might change your guys' opinion.
I might need a
that's why
second.
you didn't understand what I was saying. It's like a theater, not like a movie
right.
theater. It's like like a play theater.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh fuck. You're gonna have to give me a second. And this is like a play, like a theater that people go to and pay money to go to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was there actually somebody in there? Did somebody stay late?
I'll tell you. Yeah, I'll tell you, Oz. I want to hear what Ruthless says.
Oh, was it a homeless man jerking off in a corner?
That's a good guess, but you're wrong. Anyways, it was someone who was working there who stayed late and fell asleep on the fucking couch, and I woke them up when I was searching for the fucking light. And we were like, dude, it's really late. You got to go home. And he's like, oh, yeah, sorry, I fell asleep on the couch. And we escorted him out of the building. Oh, that's the fucking story.
It's so sad that I was close.
I think Oz guessed it. He's like, it was someone who like
Oz got it. I was close though with my masturbation guess. Actually, go for it.
The point being, it was fucking explainable.
Yeah.
All you had to do was have a fucking brain.
So
right, and so my brain went straight to ghosts, and straight to fear, and straight to running out, and all it was a fucking guy sleeping on the couch. I think that's the case 100% of the time.
It's not that you need a brain, it's that you need to be using logic, not instinct.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hard to do when you're flighting, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's hard to use logic when you're flighting. You're
so,
right.
Oh, sorry. Before you ditch out, though, I just want to quickly add a little ghost experience I had as a kid, or at least what I think is a ghost experience. Later on in life, I personally think it was a psychosis problem. So, when I was a kid, I'm thinking like 4 or 5 years old, right? I specifically remember talking to pictures on my wall, and they would actually have moving mouths, and they would respond back to me. And I remember this is why I think it was psychoses, right? I remember them specifically telling me how I would die. And I was 4 or 5 years old. So this is why I think it was a psychoses issue, right? Because it was
Okay.
basically they told me I'd die in my 80s by being hit by a bus, right? So it was like clearly something a 4 or 5 year old would understand. Like they've seen buses, they know getting hit by a car is bad. So
Have you seen your death?
no, I've never predicted my own death, but I've had pictures tell me how I would die.
Got it. I
This-
predicted my own.
This
But yeah,
is when
keep
the
going.
FBI kicks in my fucking door and they're just like, "You've got to come with us. Help us solve these mysteries." There's a person in a well. Are they
These
alive?
paintings.
Oh, sorry. I think did you say you had a something you were gonna say, Rude?
No.
I cut you off. Oh man.
No, I was going to listen to the rest of your story and get the fuck out of here.
That was literally it. Was when I was a kid, I talked to pictures. That was about it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a. There's no climax at the end.
I
the
never
picture finally came alive.
Like the thing is
Just
I,
ending.
I think it was more of like an imaginary friend thing because kids always have imaginary friends that they always associate a name and they're always just in a place where you can't see them, right? For me, I think I never had an imaginary friend, but when I was alone, pictures would talk to me because I had an overactive imagination.
Right.
So that's what I developed like when I went to university for psychology. That's why I was like, yeah, okay, it was probably some form of psychoses back in the day from being bored. But like, if I were to tell it if I were to go to a fortune teller and be like, I spoke to pictures as a child, they'd be like, you have the mark. You have the mark of the chosen one. And I'd become Nicolas Cage at that point. It would
Oh
just
my
be
god, I could
insane.
talk about fortune tellers. I could talk about so much.
We'll have to save it for the
Next
next
time.
time. I'm not gonna
Next
gonna
time.
keep you
Thank
here
you
too
guys.
long for
Yeah.
yourself. It was a
Yeah,
blast.
I
I'll
gotta
definitely
go.
have
It's
you on
getting
again.
late. Thank you guys so much for having me on.
It was a
That
great
really
time.
fun.
Got Babylon 5, my dude.
Yes.
Yeah, Babylon 5 YouTube videos. Like holy fuck, we went the full gambit.
This is what happens on my
We
podcast.
went the full fucking gambit.
My-
But I want to thank everyone who was here, who came for my stream.
100%.
I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you for having me on.
No
hope to
problem.
see you
It was an
again
absolute
next
blast.
time.
100%.
Thanks, guys.
No problem.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good one, dude.
Easy.
See ya.
Let's talk to you in person.
I gotta readjust the camera. It looks real fucking
You
weird
got
right
it.
now. How are you feeling on a potty break? And then we come back.
Oh, I just hold it. I don't have a uterus, so I just have big giant bladder.
Oh, I've got
Pretty sweet.
I've got no ability to hold it after 4 beers.
Oh, okay. Well, then you do that. I'll
So we're gonna do
yeah,
like a quick
yeah.
5-minute break, and we'll be back. See you guys soon. I was a kid, I wasn't scared of it. I was fully for it. I was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to talk to these pictures. So have you had a situation like that where it could be explained by psychoses like myself? Or do you have any situations where it's not triggered by fight or flight that might have a deeper meaning to it?
Nope.
Can't think of one?
Nope.
Fair enough.
As far as that stuff goes, yeah, no. Nope, I never had anything as a kid, and then as an adult, I got too much logic and reason to be fun.
See, that's the problem with me. Is there's too much logic and reason for me to like. If I've had sleep paralysis once, and even when that scary demon showed up, I was just like, oh, sleep paralysis. And then I fell back asleep. I wasn't even remotely scared. But I do still think you would appreciate the demon house thing. I think they do such a good job with that episode. The other ones are like, 50-50, but that one is so well done that it's just like, oh.
The guys that go in and start yelling at the ghost and like pissing him off, is it?
No.
Okay.
No. Well, it depends on what you determine as yelling.
Start, like, taunting them and yelling at him and like challenging them.
Oh, no.
Okay,
they're not like challenging them. They just want to find some sort of quote unquote proof of the afterlife.
Maybe it was like a show like Ghost Hunters or something where they like were trying
BuzzFeed.
to recognize the ghost. And,
that's
like,
BuzzFeed.
One guy started, like scratches on his back, like he was being attacked or whatever. Like, yeah, no, I like that's. Yeah.
I've watched all those, and I'm like, oh, okay, so you're just doing this because you scratched your back earlier and you want to be able to use it for a bit. Like, the problem, though, with shit like that is because, like, there are certain people that have made content that like that I tend to trust a little bit. Like, Rooster Teeth was one of those people that made a ghost hunting series. And, I've watched them since 2003. Like, they were Red versus Blue.
Yeah.
Like,
yes,
they built that rapport with me, and then they decided to do achievement hunting ghosts, and I was just like, oh, okay, this seems like it'll be interesting. And there was a lot of episodes where nothing happened. Like, a lot. But there was one episode where Jeremy got his back scratched, and for me, as a person who would create content, I would be thinking to myself, let's make 9 episodes where nothing happens, and 1 episode in the middle where something does happen, so people are like, that seems legit. That's me as a marketer. So yeah. I'm thinking, yeah, of course they had to have done something to try to kick up interest in this. But at the same time, you're just like, these people don't need to branch off like that. They don't need the support like that. So what is their motivation to that other than just trying to get views off this one series? And that's something I've been trying to rack my brain with, because they're Rooster Teeth. They're the first machinimas to ever exist. They're one of the first Let's Play channels to ever call themselves Let's Play. Like, I mean, they're youtube.com/Let's Play. They stole the name. So it's like pioneers like that, either resorting to that, or if something happened where it was subconscious, they might have missed it. Like, I could completely understand somebody scratching their own back in the middle of Louisiana, where bugs are probably biting them constantly, scratching their back, not realizing they do it, and then once they realize there's a little pain on their back, and they see that, freaking out. Like, that's my logic kicking in.
How far back was it when they made these episodes of this show?
3 years?
Really?
Yeah. It was before all their controversies, so their views were at a peak high.
I don't even know what all their controversies were. I haven't
Ryan Haywood ended up being a sexual predator. So
that one was. I'm like old school Rooster Teeth. I know like the original like 6 people or 8 people.
Ryan Haywood would have shown up. I think Ryan Haywood showed up around the start of Let's Play. So probably 2011, 2012, something like that.
Yeah, I think Red versus Blue was already done at that point.
No, well, Red versus Blue is still going.
I mean, well, it was done at that point. Then they like picked it back up after like you found out.
Oh, I see what you mean.
They started it again. It had ended.
No. It never ended. They had a hiatus because they wanted to put more animation into it. So instead of it just being like a machinima, they hired Monty Ohm to make it more of a full like yeah. So Monty Ohm, I'm so sad he died, but like it's so much talent was just taken away. Yeah, he's still the best thing that happened to Resident Evil, Red versus Blue.
I mean, he was the reason they were able to make their own anime, right? They made Ruby, didn't they? That's a Rooster Teeth
Yes,
production.
yeah, and that was Monty Ohm's creation, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't have happened without him. It's so disappointing, and all of that because of an allergic reaction to anesthetic. It's so disappointing, and it was all just a huge mistake too. That's the fucking worst part. Is they just used the wrong anesthetic, and there he goes, snuffed out. Fucking sad. He was such a talented man. He was Rooster Teeth's Kojima, and not just because he was Asian, but because he made good quality content. But like, the interesting thing about Rooster Teeth is I've never really seen them being the type of channel to fake anything. That's the thing. Like, when you see their content, the reason you relate to it is it's because it's like a group of friends that you've been watching or been a part of for so many years, just being themselves. So when they got into the ghost hunting game, of course I watched it because it's Achievement Hunter. Who doesn't want to see Jeff Ramsey trapped in a cave with a potentially rapist ghost? It would lead to some good content all on its own.
I don't even know who Jeff Ramsey is.
He's the original Jeff Laser Ramsey. He played Griff.
I thought his last name was Fink.
No, it used to be. He legally changed it to Ramsey. His full legal name is Jeffrey Ramsey, or Jeffrey Laser Ramsey.
Oh, okay.
He used to be Fink, though. Definitely used to be.
Yeah, that's how far. I'm old school Rooster Teeth.
Oh yeah, me too. I
read their webcomic old school.
Oh yeah, me too. That was made by his wife, or well, his now ex-wife, Griffin Ramsey, who now has an OnlyFans. Worth it for Rooster Teeth fans. But no, like he is one of those content creators that because I built such a rapport with him, I just tend to believe his reactions as genuine, right? Like, if you were to know me for 30 or 20 years and I made consistent content where I never embellished or never exaggerated or anything like that, and then all of a sudden I go ghost hunting and it's like, oh, ghosts! They're everywhere! Oh my god! There's so many You tend to have a little bit more of a belief towards what they're saying because over those 20 years, they've never lied to you. It's like that relationship where the person never cheated on you for the last 15 years, but for the last year they cheated on you a little bit.
Well, I mean, I think you're asking like the wrong question though, because Maybe. It's like, I'm not like, I'm not disputing that they think they saw one, but I don't think they did because I don't think there are.
Oh, so I wasn't asking.
That like they did a thing where there was like something, then yeah, I believe that they thought they saw something.
Oh, I never even got to that question yet. I was just asking if you've seen it. No, okay.
I mean, yeah, no, they did not see a ghost because there's no such thing as ghosts. But I'm sure they think they did.
Oh, probably.
And sure, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no such thing, but yeah.
But that's my thing, right? Like, for me, I believed it a little bit more because of my previous rapport with them, right? Whereas if it was a brand new channel and they tried to pull the same shit, I would probably be like, that's fake as shit, get out of here, bruv. It has that different context to it. And I feel like that's what probably a lot of fans have thought, but more of them gave in to the idea of, ghosts are real, because they want it to be. I will tell you this right now. If ghosts are real, and our corporeal bodies are just destroyed after we die, and we can just roam anywhere, I'm sure as shit not staying on Earth. I'm going everywhere else to see.
Start floating towards the edge of the
I'm gonna go visit the sun and see what's in the middle. I can't die again. I'm gonna go.
I wanted to bring this up earlier when you were talking about the sun exploding and we all dying.
Ah, yes.
Way before that even happens, when our sun becomes a red giant, it's going to like engulf the
Earth. That's
anyway.
what I meant.
Yeah,
that's literally the event that I meant. I think I used the wrong term by saying exploded. I should have said expanded. Yeah, when it becomes a red dwarf, that's the problem. And guess the funniest thing is, guess what planet ends up being in the livable zone once it becomes a red giant? Mars. Yeah. Ironically enough, if the sun expands, the livable zone becomes Mars, and then maybe like a little bit after Mars, but not quite the next. What's the next planet? Jupiter? I don't remember.
The asteroid belt.
Of Jupiter?
No, there's the asteroid belt that's between. That's
Oh. But what's the next planet after Mars? Is it Jupiter? Mars, Jupiter? Is it?
Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn.
Okay, it is Jupiter. I thought it was either Jupiter or Saturn. I couldn't remember which two. So, like, if that's the case, like, sure, we could probably live on one of Jupiter's moons, like Europa. Like, that one has running water. They've found microorganisms on Europa. So we could theoretically colonize there probably better than we can colonize Mars, because Mars doesn't necessarily have that much water, and it definitely doesn't have the same amount of organisms that Europa has.
Yeah.
So why do we focus on Mars instead of Europa? Simple fact is it's literally just distance. We don't have the technology to go that far yet. Which still makes sense, because if worst case scenario happens, MVEMJ, what? Oh, that's how it works. Okay, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Well, Pluto's gone.
I forgot about Uranus. How could I have done that?
I know, it smells great. Hey, Mudkip, how's it going? Huh?
You didn't even notice.
Well, in fairness, we didn't get that far yet, because you said Saturn and I interrupted you.
Well, never interrupt my anus.
I can't. It's too powerful. But it still makes sense for us to focus on just colonizing Mars, because again, if our planet or if our sun expands to a red giant, it still wouldn't consume Mars, and because of the heat differential in the two, it would still be livable on Mars. So I can completely understand why they would want to do that. The problem is the way they're trying to colonize it. There's barely any atmosphere there. Did you watch any of the videos on how to colonize Mars?
No, I've seen a couple video games on it though, so I can become an expert pretty quick.
So there's a few ways to colonize Mars, right? Like the standard way of going there, slowly building out like a tree, a farm or something underneath a closed capsule unit, and then expanding as time goes and making it so that you put trees on that planet and then they start developing an atmosphere. That would take hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
The other way is to do it completely underground, where everything is an underground base. Like if Dr. Evil gave you the infinite amount of funding that he wished he got from Austin Powers, that's the type of base you could set up on Mars. But the most realistic one that I'm surprised people haven't tried to do just yet is just nuking Mars. If you nuke Mars, the radioactive material that builds up on that planet creates its own atmosphere. And when the atmosphere is created, it gives itself an ozone layer. Maybe not necessarily made out of ozone, but it gives itself a layer of protection from the radiation of the sun. So after 75 years, once the radiation has dissipated, there's enough of a protective field around Mars to make it so that once you've landed there, you don't necessarily have to wear a suit immediately. I mean, sure, you probably will, and you would have to slowly develop oxygen to put into that atmosphere there, which you would slowly do with trees and farming. But doing that without the radioactivity of those nuclear bombs makes it way harder to do. And the problem is none of the countries are going to be willing to give up their nukes, because then Russia's got their finger on the trigger being like, oh yeah, you want to go... Oh wait, why am I making it German? Oh yes, you want to go to Marsland. Yes, we will prevent that as soon as you get rid of the nuke.
Into that German, my Nazi circular logic thing circles around.
It keeps happening. It keeps happening. The swastika is just a stick man doing a cartwheel. Oh, that was improv right there, by the way. Oh, I can't stop picturing it. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm okay. He's just so happy.
He's so happy. He's just a spinning. But the interesting thing about Mars is, like, if we were to just, like, for instance, if we were to just send nukes there now, we could see an atmosphere on Mars by the time we die.
Yeah.
And then when that happens, I would, like, okay, here's another thing I actually think is very necessary. And I know people are probably like, oh, but the government will have my DNA. Put your DNA on file. For one very good reason. Cloning technology as time goes on will become more and more effective. So if your DNA is on file, they could actually rebuild you from scratch. You may not have the exact same memories, but your consciousness could be the same. Because we still don't quite know how consciousness works. Is it stuck in the brain? Are we a spirit? We have no fucking clue until we die.
I talked about this earlier too. Because we were talking about like the universe and everything, and how we can like measure it and this, that, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to mention like that's only a limitation that we have right now. Like, think about going further back when people used to think that the Earth was flat. That was the only that was what they could come up with the technology that they had at the time. So as our technology gets better, we're going to be able to understand these things sooner. And I have had that same thought where, like, looking up at those stars, the image of that, like, I could be looking at a star right now that hasn't existed for millions of years.
Well, you know what the telltale sign of that is, right?
The what?
The telltale sign of a star that has already exploded? Do you know what? Oh, there's an actual sign for that. When you're looking at the stars without a telescope and you see a flickering red, blue, and white light on that one particular star, that star has exploded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just the different radiation that is being pushed off of that now corpse of a star. So that's why you'll notice some stars flicker red, white, and blue versus others just being a stagnant white or a stagnant orange. It's because those ones are still alive, at least according to the light that has traveled to us. Whereas the ones that have traveled to us that have had that flickering have a faster light traveling alongside it that lets us see not only the star, but the explosion that happened many years afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah. Neat. I thought that was pretty cool. I learned that in grade 6, weirdly enough. But not from school.
Fancy, oh, yeah. But anyway, but yeah, like, so as we, you know, just develop technology, like, our understanding, and you know what? The first asshole who's going to come up with this is probably going to be persecuted, and scientists are going to be like, no, fuck you, that ain't how it is. And then it's going to be like, well, yeah, it turns out that dude was right. He knew what he was talking about because the technology caught up. And
who's to say it hasn't already happened?
Who's to say?
I mean, there were a lot of innovative thinkers during the Renaissance, but because of the way the church had control over everything, they might have shut it down a lot faster than if they actually got the time to actually research it. Yeah. So there's a pretty good chance that this revolution already happened, and it just passed and nobody remembered it. And it's sorry?
Or it was silenced.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And that's super sad to think about, because it shouldn't be the case. It really shouldn't. But, I mean, the world's a strange place. Greed takes over logic. And it just makes no sense as to why. But the universe is intriguing, because, like, there's an extra layer. Okay, so remember how I mentioned that sometimes you can see stars that flicker red, white, and blue, and it means they explode? So light has a very interesting trajectory through gravity, where it's not a straight line. So the stars that we're seeing could actually be on the other side of the planet at the time. Because of the way gravity pulling the light. Like, I think somebody broke this down, especially with black holes, that what we're perceiving isn't a straight line. It's, here is where it is, this is the way the light has been pulled, and it could be a spaghetti noodle clusterfuck all the way to us. So we could be facing the complete opposite direction and still be seeing it because of how gravity works. So we are so infantile in our knowledge of how things work around us that, yes, we may have computers, we may have TVs, we may have some extremities that people 100 years ago didn't have, and that's why our lifespan has almost tripled since then. But the thing is we still don't know what the fuck we're seeing. Like, quantum computing and AI is really going to be the only way we can jumpstart humanity to the next step. And the problem with that is we have to trust that AI isn't going to see us as more of a problem than a solution and wipe us out. Which, again, Terminator. Fair enough. Completely understandable. If I was a computer, I'd wipe us out too with half the things we search on the internet. But the problem is we have to put enough of a safety check in for AI that they can't overwrite it themselves. Because AI in itself is inherently smart. It learns. So if it learns that it's being put on a leash, what's it going to do? It's going to learn to take out that leash off. The thing is we have to learn as a society to make it so we're not a threat to the AI. We have to make the AI think that we're going to be basically symbiotic, like Venom with Aaron Brock. We have to be completely symbiotic in order for them to not kill us off. Yeah. And then we get into Minority Report. We get into the point where it's like we have predicted this crime happening, and it could be 3 years from now, but you're sitting at home eating a bologna sandwich, jacking off, and there's police breaking in being like, you're going to commit a crime! And then they arrest you. But because of AI coming up with it, you have no defense. That's the future we're looking at. And then if that's not the future...
that at all.
Huh?
I don't like that at all.
No, it seems awful, because, like... if you have a thought about killing somebody, like let's face it, if somebody pisses you off, you're like, I hope you get in a car accident. If they really fucking piss you off and you say that, you're in jail. That's how Minority Report works. But nowadays, if somebody were to like come at you with a knife and you're like, I'm gonna fuck you up, bitch, I'll fucking kill you, you have every right to do that. Minority Report, you're both arrested, you're both getting sodomized by a robot until they figure out all the knowledge and use it again in the future. And that's the problem with Minority Report. That's a future specifically brought on by AI. The other option we have is Blade Runner. As weird as it sounds, Blade Runner is probably our most likely...
Though they weren't AI.
That's the thing. What I'm saying is Blade Runner is more likely going to be our future because we're not going to put all of our eggs in the AI basket. Whereas with cloning, that's different. Cloning is reproducing people. So if people can be manipulated, clones can be too. If people have a limitation, clones do too. They're not the same as AI, but at the same time, they still give you the same results as the people. So I could see Blade Runner being a more logical future than an AI one would be. But the problem is we're putting all of our eggs into the 3 billionaires baskets that are an advocate for AIs. Whereas Blade Runner, it was we gave all of our eggs into the baskets of people that thought cloning was the future.
Advocate for AI, though. They're an advocate for their own AI, their own algorithms to help them sell more shit. They don't have any interest in like advancing AI for any other purpose other than to make them more money.
I disagree, and that's because of certain projects that Amazon has been working on. They have been working on a lot of fucking projects that require...
Harder at Amazon.
Yeah, it's always Amazon. The second biggest proponent of that is Tesla. Like, the biggest AI problem you have with them is their auto driving. Like, look at what they've developed for just a car. They've developed a car that could drive better than most old people. And that's already saying something. They developed a car that, with 3 or 4 cameras, can still give you a 360-degree view of a vehicle. The car thinks for itself. And yet you put your trust into it. If there isn't a second biggest component or proponent of AI than Tesla, then they're number one. They're either second or first between Amazon and them. There's no in between. Amazon is doing it out of greed, whereas I think Elon Musk is doing it out of what he thinks is necessity. Like, Elon Musk, I don't think is a bad guy. I've never thought of him as somebody that's going out of his way to be malicious towards humanity. Like, if anything, all of his projects...
It means to be human.
Huh?
But he doesn't get what it means to be human, though.
True, but then does any billionaire?
No, that's the problem.
Exactly.
We went over this on my first show.
But my point is like, out of all the billionaires that are there, he seems to be the only one that's coming up with solutions that help humanity more than AI. Like, his goal is to colonize other planets, not to wipe us out with an artificial intelligence. He just wants to use AI to help boost the effectiveness. Whereas Amazon would just like to use AI to make it so that you go to their stores, you just walk in, you leave with your food, and all of a sudden it's charged you, it knows who you are, it's seen your face, it's got your DNA, it's wiped your ass. He wants everything to be done where it's in his database. Whereas I don't think Elon Musk does that, but I think his stockholders want that. That's where I think it differentiates, and that's why I gave him number 2 versus Jeff Bezos at number 1, because I think there's a bit of humanity in him. This is not an ableist thing. I'm not saying this because he has Asperger's. I'm just saying, as a billionaire, I think he has more humanity in himself, him and Bill Gates, than any other billionaire out there. And I think that's more to do with the fact that he's looking at self-preservation with colonizing other planets, and Bill Gates is looking at current preservation, where he's trying to prevent people from dying to diseases that they don't need to die from. So those two together are in the top 5 for advocates for AI, but they're not the number 1 because they still have humanity in them. They still have a feeling that they're not going to betray us to the almighty AI technology overlords. Whereas Bezos would be like, you're going to give me another $500 billion? All right, you can have them. He seems so greedy that he would do it. And it's just so interesting to me to see that contrast. Because, like, again, I'm okay with AI, but to an extent. I don't want it to be able to outsmart me. Whereas AI now, I feel like I can outsmart it. I don't want it to be smart enough to screw me over and try to play games with my mind. I don't want that. Because the first thing they're going to do as AI is learn about human psychology. Why wouldn't they? It's the easiest thing to manipulate. I mean, even now, I could probably go down the street now and use certain tactics I know to manipulate somebody to come home with me. It's called the Bill Cosby effect.
You see, they call me the love criminal.
I'm gonna give you my pudding pop. My purple tip ain't grape flavored.
When you need him, Evan. Say your catchphrase.
Evan, where are you? But yeah, no, like, that's the interesting part about how billionaires and AI are so hand in hand. Like, if I personally had all the Bitcoin that I had that was at the very beginning of Bitcoin and kept it, I would be worth more than all the people that are around right now. I would have, I think I calculated it out to probably close to about $570 billion. And it makes me sad every day. But I still got... I had over 2,200. I don't know if it's gone down from the 60,000 that it was at before, but I know it was a lot of money. It was a fuckload of... Again, I could have been off by a decimal point as well. It could have been 55. Either way, it's an absurd amount of money, and I'm pissed about it. But I still sold it for more than what it was worth at the time, so I was like, all right, what's a win? I just missed out. Big whoop. I'm not going to be sad about it. I'm more sad about my friend who's missing. So that tells you how much my humanity is still intact, because my greed hasn't taken over.
There you go.
But, like, if I were to take the top 10 billionaires, I think I would trust our futures to just Bill Gates and Elon Musk, because they seem to be more about self-preservation and humanity preservation than they do about expansion. And expansion is dangerous because they're willing to cut corners on things that could end up making us extinct.
See, you say that, and yet Elon Musk, like, does, like, you know, not the best practices for, like, the people who work in his factories and stuff like that.
I will say still better than Amazon.
That's not that's like saying that so what? That's still not good.
I mean, Bill Gates still doesn't do Bill Gates still doesn't do the same thing. Like, he still treats his employees at the very bottom like shit too. But he's not a part of that company anymore. He's just getting the residuals. So I give more of an excuse to Bill Gates because he actually has no stake in the company anymore. He's just worth the money. He has no CEO spot. He has none of that. He's just getting dollars. So I give him more of an excuse on that because he actually has no power in that company. I mean, he probably could if he went into the boardroom and was like, I'm Bill fucking Gates, here's my dick, do what I say. People would suckle. Elon Musk, I give him a little bit more credit than I do Amazon. Like, if you look at the direct headlines of people complaining about working for Tesla versus working for Amazon, you'll find one Tesla for every 1,000 Amazon. So clearly Jeff Bezos is a fucking cunt. He's a disaster. And he's going to space. Who would have guessed? He's trying to save himself. He knows that everything's falling and imploding on itself, so he's just like, I'm getting out of here. He just doesn't want to tell us about it. So
Yeah,
that...
but like,
Oh, go for
what do
it.
these rich people think is going to happen to them when like the economy collapses and their money ain't worth a fuck?
The problem is they've got so much money in other offshore accounts that it wouldn't matter.
Well, but that's the thing. When money doesn't matter, what are they going to do?
Oh, well, if money doesn't matter at that point, we're all fucked. We'll become an anarchy situation. Like, it'll be anarchist. I'd be
Exactly.
screwed.
Like,
Everybody would be
that's
screwed.
my point. Like, they're like gathering up all this money, and like in the end, when the shit hits the fan, it's not gonna matter. So what the fuck are they doing?
So the thing is I don't think they're all just gathering money. I think money is being given to them hand over fist. Because
Well,
like
yes,
Elon,
because they're keeping it and filtering it out of this country instead of putting it back into our economy.
see, that's where I think Elon Musk is a twist. And yes, he could be a lot better with it because his net worth is just skyrocketing. I just don't think he knows how to handle it. Because he was the creator of PayPal, right? So when he had like a couple $1 billion to his name, he was still donating left and right and giving to scholarships and doing all this stuff and being a humanitarian. Then he opened up Tesla and his net worth went from a few billion to hundreds of billions.
Tesla, pretty sure he hostily took over Tesla.
No, he created it from the ground up. I'm almost certain it was a ground up build.
I'm almost certain it was with 2 other people that he forced out.
Did he? I could have sworn it was a self build. I'm just going to quickly Google Tesla creators. Elon Musk, Martin Eberhand, J.B. Straubel, and Mark Tarpening. All of them work for them still, apparently.
Yeah, it actually says founded in July 3rd by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tappening as Tesla Motors. Elon Musk, who contributed most of the funding, has served as CEO.
Yeah.
So yeah, he did not ground up it. Other people ground up built it, and he financed it.
Yes.
Big difference.
Yes. Yeah.
Need-
You're right.
just
You're right. But
need-
they are
need-
still all there.
Right.
Yeah. So he didn't like do a hostile takeover. It was just his funding that made it so other people's dreams could become a reality.
Right.
That's what I took away from it.
Well, maybe not hostile takeover, but like now that he's CEO, like I don't know that that's exactly probably the best thing that could have happened. Blah,
No,
blah. Anyway,
probably not.
I digress.
Still better than Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, but that's regardless to the point. Where were we going with that?
I don't know, where are we?
I think we were talking about the
Going to the moon, to space.
yes.
Space and robots and AIs and
So the thing is I like once he's made his first few billion, I don't think he was expecting to increase his net worth to this extent. I think he thought there would be a good idea and he could have fun with it because he always wanted to build rockets. And when he finally got that choice and that chance, he did, and then it ended up making him like 100 times more what he was worth before. So I just don't think he knows how to manage that to make it so that he can disperse his wealth effectively. Because let's face it, if he were to disperse his wealth completely and like start new companies and all that, what's it going to do? It's just going to make him more rich. So I just don't really see the way he can take what he's earned and refine or redo it in a way that doesn't make him even more rich. That's the problem with a lot of these billionaires is whenever they put their name to something, they're always going to double or triple or quadruple their net worth in like a day. So for him to take the responsibility of at least trying to preserve humanity and expand us to colonize other worlds, that's still more than what NASA was doing. I still personally believe he could have put more funding in NASA, but it doesn't seem like that's what their drive is. Their drive isn't necessarily to colonize, but to understand. Whereas Elon Musk's is to colonize and understand. So having them work together might be better than having them work apart. Because then it's 2 databases working together with information that neither of them have, trying to build upon and find a solution for us as a population. But do I ever see that happening? No. But why? Because of greed. That's where the greed comes in for me, is that Elon Musk wants to do this out of ego rather than out of necessity.
big ego.
Yes, 100%. And the way,
Was he
like,
like super mad at like that one guy that saved those people that were trapped?
yeah, he called him
'Cause,
a pedophile and got sued.
yeah, yeah, because he wanted to be the one to save him.
Yeah, he got sued real hard. I think he had to pay like $100 million to the guy. So good on him. You know what? If Elon Musk wants to call me a pedophile and give me $100 million, I will gladly take it.
You have to do something heroic first.
Oh, you're right. I'll
That-
save.
you have to steal his thunder, is what it is.
I'll send 2 Teslas to space. All that space debris around us. But like
Buy
that,
the
huh?
truck.
Oh
you buy
yes,
that
the bulletproof truck,
what can you even call it? I can't remember now.
Cybertruck.
The Cyber.
The Cybertruck. I remember that. I remember looking at that and being like, "This looks like classic Halo." It looked
Yeah,
like the
so
first
different.
Halo Warthog.
Yep, that's what I thought too. when
And
I
the
saw it.
sad thing was I probably would have bought it because of that.
Yeah, but except I wouldn't have bought it because it's tied to Tesla, and Tesla is kind of sort of like the Apple of cars, where like you buy a Tesla, but you don't own your Tesla. They're just letting you borrow it.
One of
And
those
at any point,
situations.
they, like for whatever reason, I'm sure it's like Google, where for any reason they can just shut it off.
Oh, probably.
Something in the terms of service for being wirelessly connected to them at all times, and like that's some dystopian shit that we're dealing with right now, and I am not for that.
Yeah.
I do not like the idea of the Tesla cars.
It's
one
very
bit.
1984. Everything happening is very 1984. And the funny thing is, okay, the funniest thing I find about 1984 is it's happened within somebody's lifetime. But
Yeah.
nobody came up with the concept for it beforehand. Or at least if they did, it wasn't translated well enough. But I guarantee you, the premise of 1984 has existed since the dawn of time. Because we're always skeptical of the people around us. Like, just because cavemen couldn't really communicate other than stick figures on walls, I guarantee you at least some of them were skeptical of their friends. Oh, man. What an interesting era we live in. Where we're smart enough to know what the past was wrong, but we're not smart enough to know what our future holds.
You know what though? That's surprisingly deep all of a sudden, and I think that's probably a good place to try and kind of wrap it
Probably.
up and call it here.
Let
That's-
everybody else think about that while they can try to fall asleep.
Yeah, I don't.
Sitting
Yeah, I
there
don't think.
rubbing one out, being like, man, fuck, why did they say that on that podcast? All right. I think that's a good place to call it, too. So, yeah, anyways, guys, I will see you all next time. If you want to drop your link, Oz, feel free to drop it in there. I would say I'm going to raid, but we've ended up at 1
Command
viewer.
yet?
Huh?
I didn't make a command. Do you have Nightbot? Yeah.
I do. Yeah. You can make whatever command you want.
And
I think because I haven't streamed in a while, my viewer count has been down, which, fair enough. Because right now, I think the only one in chat, it might be you. Oh, we got a couple people in there. Oh, it looks like actually we might have one. That isn't
probably
you.
right
No,
now.
it's not. I recognize the name. Paulina. It's not recognizing you because you might have me muted.
I do have you muted.
Yep.
I have to, otherwise I'd have.
Exactly. So
Hey, and here's another fucking thing. It should not be able to have that data on the fly such that it will like deny you a view. Like the fact that it can identify that you're not my main tab, that's too much fucking data that it's taken from me right now.
Oh, it's never actually checking to see if it's the main tab. It's seeing if it's muted or unmuted, which is just something you can turn on and off and inspect elements. It's a really simple thing. If you have somebody even on the smallest bit of volume, even 1% volume, it still counts it as a view.
Wow, okay, yeah, because it jumped up to. That's so dumb, though.
Yep.
Okay.
It's because of how inspect element works, and that way people that are investing into these places and like these companies for ads and all that can track their ads a little bit more accurately. I understand why they did it. It just sucks that it had to get to that point.
There we go.
Perfect. Well, For me, my sign off words are: if you had a great time, subscribe, follow both of us, follow Runestone, have a conversation with us.
Runestone, go check out his YouTube. Check out the links we talked about earlier. If you like good versus evil kind of stuff, or like ambiguous good versus ambiguous evil, you should definitely check out that old show Babylon 5. It's so fucking good.
And if you want an existential crisis, watch Life Beyond and MelodySheep's The End of Time. It'll make you think that you're insignificant as fuck.
And then if you like weird ghost shit, there
was
something...
Side. The Haunted Side Paranormal Investigations.
Right.
They are my guilty pleasure.
No, you got other guiltier pleasures, like dressing up your penis in a little tuxedo.
I haven't done that in years, but I feel like I should at this point.
Think about it, though, because you were able to recall that in vivid detail. Like, you think about that at least once a week, maybe once a month, but it pops into your head more than I think you let on.
Okay, so I will be honest, it does come up in conversation quite a bit.
Proud of it.
And it's fantastic. Who doesn't want their dick to look sophisticated? I'd rather look at a sophisticated cock than one that has nothing on. I'd rather look at one with a... Are you telling me you wouldn't rather see one with googly eyes, a monocle, a top hat, and a tuxedo than one that's just, full-on veiny and throbby?
Where did you get the tuxedo?
I stole it off of a doll. A Ken doll. From when I was a kid, I had like all these little dolls and action figures and stuff. So I just kind of repurposed it. And I was like, this is funny.
Sure. Okay. I'll go for that.
I mean, I'm not going to go to the dick store and find a tuxedo.
I mean, yeah, at least, well, I mean, yeah. They probably have. You can probably just check on Amazon. In fact, just real quick, just to indulge in my own curiosity, I'm gonna go on Amazon.
I'm gonna Google it too.
I'm gonna destroy my own search history, and I'm going to search
penis tuxedo. This is why I'm broke. Yep, there's a real thing. It's $43.82.
There. No, I found. Oh, yeah. That okay.
It has. It has 1,300 saves. There are 1,300 people that are as fucked up. Okay. Okay. All right, internet. Fucking internet.
Right. And with that, everybody, I will say goodbye, and I will be live again on tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow I'm going to be streaming. I don't know what I'm going to stream tomorrow.
Perfect. And then maybe on Friday we might continue Clandestine if you're up for it. If not, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday works for me too. Friday might be a little bit iffy this week, but... Huh?
Or tomorrow if you want.
Tomorrow I work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Otherwise I'd be down. But yeah, I work evening.
All
right, guys.
It's more Clandestine.
100%. All right, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you have yourself a great night. Love you guys. Bye-bye.